If you're interested in online coaching, my email's in the bio, and there'll be a link to the merch if you guys are interested in getting a shirt and helping out Vinny. And remember, guys, whether you're first or last, at least you're not salty. I feel sorry for you, bud. I'll try to do this whole voiceover without yelling, okay? All right, welcome to day 349. Body weight's up to 213.4. So it's nice to be able to eat my full cheat meal and only go up 4.5 pounds, something like that. So my body's starting to find its equilibrium, I guess. So all said and done now, with the diet, we can say I lost about 12 solid pounds, maybe a little bit more. So that's good. Okay, at the end of the video today, we're going to compare straight weight versus accommodating resistance for the Hatfield speed box squats. But here we go. Here's the chin ups, 2 arms. That's got to be well over 300 pounds that's cracking off the ground there. Man, this left bicep, even taking a 45-pound plate off with 2 hands, it feels like it's going to tear. So if it eventually goes, again, I'm well aware of the risks. So 1 arm dead hang, back up to 160 pounds here. Again, it's basically the record that I'm going to go for. It's like 165 pounds. I think he weighed the belt too on his, so it's pretty close. My best with my left hand, which is weaker, is 22, and I managed to get over 14 here. Again, this should be my worst day because my hands are super swollen from the cheat meal, so that was good. With the right, my best is 30, I believe. Yeah, so I ended up getting a little bit over 17. My hand actually opens up in a weird way that I haven't really experienced before. But again, a little bit over 17 seconds. My best is 30. So just getting back into these, super happy. It opened up towards the pointer finger, like it was rotating out of it that way. So I think maybe Thursday I'll start dropping weight a couple days before and see what I can do with the hang there. And maybe I'll try to do a 10 rep set of chin-ups. And at some point, maybe redo the power clean max. I'm not sure if I want to do that on Thursday or not, but we'll see. Okay, so that first set's a warm-up. It doesn't count. I do 12 sets of 3. Well, I do more than that, but I mean, really, it's speed work. None of them count. So there's approximately 300 pounds of bands and chains at the top, and I start with a little over 200 pounds on the bar, and I add 10 pounds every single set. And then I do straight weight afterwards. So we'll talk about that at the end. I'll play these here so you can listen to some chains and some grunts. Okay, this is 473 pounds of straight weight. Okay, so I just want to compare the heaviest set with the bands and chains versus the straight weight set after. The difference is 160 pounds of straight weight Again, I have never done this exercise or a Hatfield squat with straight weight in my life. I've had this bar since 2018. So again, I would estimate there's somewhere around 300 pounds at the top of bands and chains, maybe a little bit more, and who knows, 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds still at the bottom. I estimated without the bands and chains, I could do somewhere between 150 to 190 pounds more. So again, I just slapped 160 pounds more on. Now, I wouldn't ever train this straight weight. Reason being, the bottom position will have too much tension, and the top has almost like no tension, right? Not enough. So this would feel terrible. It did feel terrible. It would beat you up. And all the sets working up to a maximal weight, you just get zero work at the top. The only time that you get work at the top is because the bottom was so hard that you blew your load at the bottom. And then in the middle point, you're trying to recover a little bit. And then by the top, you have nothing left. So maybe you got something out of it. But even all the sets below that, you're going to get absolutely nothing out of those positions. And you're just getting an isometric out of the bottom. That's why the bands and chains on this make so much more sense. At such a lighter percentage or such a lighter weight, you're going to get a more equal distribution of work from the bottom to the top. Again, I wouldn't suggest to do this exercise heavy or with straight weight because it could be dangerous on the shoulders, on the hamstrings. And also you have to keep in mind that I'm used to training against the bands and chains. If I took someone with a similar strength level to me, let's say like Vinny, and we're similar height, right? So this box is going to affect us in a similar fashion. And let's say that top set of straight weight, we could hit the same. His bands and chain work would be a lot less. So for him, it might be a 230 pound difference. Again, the faster and the more explosive you are, you're going to be better with the bands and chains. And again, like I said, I've had this bar for 7.5 years from now. I've done maybe 2-3 sets of straight weight step ups for a max and a couple sets for reps. But in a squat pattern, a box squat or to a pin or whatever, I've never trained it with straight weight. I did do a couple when my hamstring was injured a couple months ago. I did a couple like good mornings with it, but like I said, I'm very undertrained in that way, and you still see 160 pound difference here. Also, if I wanted to train it with straight weight, I would work up to it with the warm up. So taking the bands and chains off afterwards also makes it feel weird. But again, I just wanted to show this as a comparison, not because it's something that I would like to train regularly, but just without any practice at all, I can just take the bands and chains off and then I can put the straight weight on if I wanted to. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show. That's all I got for today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.